Well, 2020 is finally coming to a close, and it's definitely going down as the worst year in literally forever. And with 2021 just around the corner, you'll definitely be wanting to go on a vacation and take a relaxation from all the stress of this past year. Well, luckily for you, we're going to be looking at the top 10 ugliest states in America to avoid, whose position is going to be ranked lowest by our criteria. How we're going to be judging this is based upon the cost of living, crime rate, traffic, education, job opportunities, weather, safety, and quality of living. These are the top 10 ugliest states that have been flagged as states that you don't want to live in or let alone visit. Number 10, New Mexico. First and foremost, who even wants to live in a state that's basically a desert? I mean, I guess the people that live there do. Pretty sad, right? New Mexico is a state whose crime level is at an all-time high, and even if you look around for a few seconds, you find out pretty quickly that there's not much to do in New Mexico. I mean, seriously, name one place you would even visit if you went to New Mexico. Exactly, you can't. Weighing all statistical categories, New Mexico falls short in pretty much every single one of them. From the poorly educated teens, to the low employment opportunities, to even how much citizens are paid, this is definitely one of the worst states to live in. Number 9, Louisiana. Now, the thing with Louisiana is that the education here is of very low quality. Due to the people being so poorly educated, it ends up affecting the crime rate of the state that has been going on for what seems like forever. Louisiana ranks 6th in the least educated people in America. And, on top of that, the quality of life is very poor, mainly due to the high rate of poverty and low income rates. Ironically, the weather is also nothing to be celebrated. Constantly, they're getting bombarded with hurricanes and bad weather, and there's also an alarming number of people who end up finding themselves without housing or belongings. This ends up affecting the real estate market, as one might imagine, which ends up surging the number of abandoned houses that can be found throughout the state. This, in turn, of course, leads to resulting in very low housing prices. Now, the weather isn't the only reason why a lot of people are leaving the state. Another factor is the low job opportunities. Look, if people can't work, they can't eat, which forces them to move to a different place where they're going to be able to find food, shelter, and work. Number 8, Alaska. Alaska. Also known as the Mountain State. Beyond the beautiful scenic pics that you occasionally see from your friends and family taking those Alaskan cruise lines or maybe even a whale watching tour or two, the state itself is plagued with various earthquakes, volcano eruptions, and cold weather that never backs down, even during the summer. Most of the communities experience sub-zero temperatures throughout the year, not to mention that the cost of living there is expensive. This is due to the isolated nature from which the state is situated, where must-have supplies and basic needs are located so far away from the rest of the states. From purchasing basic things like milk and bread to the price of fuel, the cost of living there only favors those who are not living from paycheck to paycheck. This also includes the heating costs. You wouldn't want to freeze to death, right? Plus, add snow removal to your daily routine. The 30-inch snow drifts will leave you blowing, shoveling, or plowing to be able to keep your driveway and walkways clear for the rest of your life. Exhausting, if you ask me. You know, Florida's actually sounding pretty good right now. Number 7, Mississippi. Another close call is the state of Mississippi. This state, in all its greatness, ranks as an ugly state due to the low number of college graduates, income levels, home prices, and jobs. Just imagine living without any of these. Yes, ugly is the word that we're going to use to describe this scenario. And not to mention the health factor falls in both availability of its practitioners and the overall health of its people. Look, I'd rather live somewhere else where you can actually have hospitals. Flaws and all, the people of Mississippi seem to love their state and they wear it as a badge of honor. Number 6, Arkansas. The American Indian named state represents a diverse set of people who are well-mannered and hold the proper pronunciation of Arkansas to heart. With 6 incidents to every 1,000 people living there, the crime rate in Arkansas is way above the U.S. average. Now that is something to take to heart. If living in Arkansas is an option, a modern security system to protect your property is of great importance. The education system in Arkansas is also disturbingly underfunded, but if you do manage to survive it, its universities are much better. However, the underfunding ends up making it almost impossible for teachers to survive here. With its alarming poverty rate, and with there being no public transportation available for the people, it really helps you to attribute its nickname, the Wonder State, to this state. Number 5, Alabama. Next on our list is the not-so-sweet home Alabama. Alabama unfortunately ranks as 5th on one of the worst states to live in this year. It is also one of the top 10 highest crime-plagued states. The increasing rate of uneducated people doesn't seem to aid the rate of unemployment, which ultimately forces people to look towards crime to get food on the table. In Alabama, the safety, housing, health, education, jobs, income, and access to good internet is considerably worse in comparison to other states. Let's just hope Alabama's praying community prays them out of the situation they're in. Number 4, South Carolina. Home to they don't even have any major sports teams. Well, that's depressing. South Carolina almost sounds like what you call a pretty lover who just broke your heart. As painful as it may sound, South Carolina has been ranked as one of the worst places for online dating, so if you don't want your relationship to go south, tread with caution. Another reason is also the rate of crime. The stark reality is that you have a 1 in 70 chance of being the victim of a property crime for every day you decide to spend in South Carolina. No one wants to live in such fear for the rest of their life. Not to mention its poor laws and the resulting poverty rate thereof. Sounds like a wonderful place to live, don't you think? Number 3, Oklahoma. Right after the cursed lover state is Oklahoma. The crime rate here is humbling in comparison to other states. The number of guns that are carried around is just another opportunity for more crimes to be committed. Now, don't be fooled by the low costs of living around here. This is mainly because there really isn't much to hold people's attention long enough to warrant a reason to get out. Which brings us to the next reason why living in Oklahoma is a horrible idea. This state is right at the dead center of Tornado Alley. Quite frankly, the weather conditions can be destructive. You can expect bouts of snowstorms, hail, or even sleet during the winter months. Severe storms will even occasionally blow through, the type that covers everything in ice. For a state whose people are some of the highest uninsured, the weather conditions have a lot of them wondering why they even live there. Number 2, Arizona. To the left of New Mexico, Arizona's heat almost makes you wonder if hell might actually just be in Arizona. The heat experience is daunting, and much of the state is deserted, not to mention a desert in and of itself, so you'll find plenty of cacti, bare fields, and just lots of sand. Though you can find some palm trees only if you live in the cities. If you love nature, don't expect to be surrounded by nature, because even a single tree here is a rare sight. Also, remember to take a picture of it, as it might be the last one you ever see. Lastly, number 1, Nevada. We're going to end this list with Nevada as our ugliest state. With Vegas being basically the only popular attraction, it's almost spine-chilling to even think Nevada should be on this list. Well, as stated earlier, we don't rank these states on their popularity, but the sense of safety and good living that it gives to its residents. With that being said, Nevada ranks 4th in the nation's most violent crime states. Although its cost of living is affordable, you will be needing lots of self-control to not get addicted to the abundance of alcohol and gambling which goes on within this state. And if you're not tourism inclined, other job opportunities are pretty dang low. Coupled with the low wages paid to employees in comparison to other states, this place is just a disaster. And there you have it, the top 10 ugliest states to live in the United States.